Dubai. While tourists usually wander through gigantic shopping malls and the super rich and influencers throw lavish parties, that polished image of the city is now starting to crack badly. Because behind the scenes, not only are extremely disturbing things happening, but since the US attack on Iran, the desert metropolis has also been dragged into the harsh reality of global politics. We are about to show you what happens every day in the shadow of luxury, and why the dream of an invulnerable paradise is quite literally going up in flames right now. Let's start with what is probably the most current and most shocking point, one that is now completely destroying Dubai's image as a safe haven. For years, Dubai sold itself as the neutral, ultra-safe bubble in the Middle East. But in the last few days, that promise has quite literally been blown apart. Because of the massive escalation and the US attack on Iran, Dubai has suddenly found itself caught in the crossfire. In isolated incidents, explosions and stray projectiles have hit the suburbs of the desert metropolis, and even the famous Burj Al Arab Hotel. For a city whose entire business model is built on 100% safety for investors, expats, and influencers, this is an absolute disaster. Panicked scenes are unfolding at the airport, as many foreigners are trying to flee the country for fear that the conflict could escalate even further. As a result, some influencers reportedly spent as much as $200,000 to charter private jets and escape the dangers in Dubai. Some expats even left their pets behind unattended, basically leaving them to die. Initial reports are already warning that Dubai could soon face food shortages because of supply bottlenecks. But to be fair, the cracks in Dubai's facade did not start with these recent explosions. If you take a closer look at what happens there every day, it quickly becomes clear that the city has always had a very dark side. Take the weather, for example, because the city actually creates its own weather. Yes, that sounds completely absurd, but it is true. Rain at the push of a button, right in the middle of the desert. The reason is simple. The region gets only about 120 millimeters of rain per year. That makes the United Arab Emirates one of the driest countries in the world. So the thinking was simple. If the rain will not come on its own, then we will just have to help it along. And that is exactly what they did. Since the year 2000, Dubai has regularly sent planes into the clouds to artificially influence the weather up there. But how the hell is that even possible? The answer is something called cloud seeding. As soon as meteorologists spot a suitable cumulus cloud, pilots are alerted and fly special aircraft directly over it, releasing a mixture of different salts. These particles trigger a physical process that causes rain to form. Dubai sometimes carries out this maneuver several times a week. However, no one really knows how effective this method actually is, because it is very difficult to measure. It can even become extremely dangerous if too much rain suddenly falls. Then flooding follows, and the infrastructure starts to break down because the city is barely prepared for heavy rainfall. That is exactly what happened about 2 years ago, causing total chaos across the metropolis. Another problem in Dubai is also man-made, and it is tied to what is still the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. It is the reason why a kilometers-long line of trucks forms every day on the roads leading out into Dubai's desert. And those trucks are not carrying ordinary trash. They are loaded with the sewage of the rich. The reason the wastewater does not simply disappear into the underground sewer system, as it normally would, is easy to explain. The Burj Khalifa was supposed to be completed in record time to showcase Dubai's construction prowess. The infrastructure simply could not keep up. There was not enough time to build a sufficient sewage system for an 800-meter-tall building where thousands of people were supposed to live. And so the waste has to be hauled away some other way. By the way, this does not just lead to absurd scenes on Dubai's streets, it also creates environmental problems and health risks. By now, Dubai has addressed the issue, and there are not nearly as many so-called poop trucks as there used to be. The next issue, however, is far less visible to the public than the poop truck problem, and in fact, it is supposed to remain strictly secret, because it plays out behind the walls of Dubai's ruler. A few years ago, though, some explosive details still made their way into the public eye. But what exactly are we talking about here? Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Emir of Dubai, does not exactly have a good reputation. People say that he has done a great deal for the city and pushed major projects forward, but in private he is said to be a very difficult man who will do whatever it takes to hold on to power. Many women from his inner circle have accused him of abuse, including his own daughters. Mohammed has had at least 6 wives and 30 children, yet he is said to have no loving relationship with them. Instead, they are forced to live highly restricted lives under his control, so restricted that 2 of his daughters have already tried to escape from his grasp. In August 2000, his daughter Shamsa al-Maktoum attempted to flee from one of his properties in England, but was kidnapped shortly afterward in Cambridge by her father's agents, drugged, and flown back to Dubai the very next day. She has never been seen again since, and it is widely assumed that she was locked away afterward. Even though her sister had failed, Latifa al-Maktoum also made an escape attempt in 2018. Beforehand, she recorded a video that was later released.
And I'm making this video because it could be the last video I make. Pretty soon I'm going to be leaving somehow, and I'm not so sure of the outcome, but I'm 99% positive it will work.
Sadly, she was wrong. She had already made it onto a boat bound for India, but shortly before reaching the coast, she was ambushed by allies of her father, sedated, and brought back to Dubai. After that, only one brief sign of life surfaced from her, a video in which she says she is being held in a windowless villa. Since then, nothing more has been heard from her either. These stories show that behind the facade of the powerful emir, things look very different from what many people imagine. Now let's move on to another disturbing truth about Dubai. It is no secret that people there love to flaunt their wealth, but there is one thing that really surpasses every level of decadence. In some places in Dubai, there are actually vending machines where you can buy real gold bars. Many people in Dubai see gold as a safe investment, so every now and then they exchange their money there for 24-karat gold. The people of Dubai are simply obsessed with luxury and anything that looks expensive. That is also why there is the so-called gold souk, a street packed with more than 300 gold shops standing close together. Everywhere you look, everything glitters and sparkles. Some of the jewelry pieces there weigh several kilograms. And if that still is not enough for you, you can even have gold served to you on a plate, in the most literal sense, at the Bombay Borough restaurant. They serve a dish there called the Royal Gold Biryani, a portion of rice with various grilled meats, decorated with real 23-karat gold leaf. But while some people are practically bathing in gold at home and throwing money around without a second thought, most of Dubai's residents live in a completely different reality. Only about 10% of the population actually enjoy the famous luxury Dubai is known for. The remaining 90% live in poverty, but of course the public is not supposed to know that. Many of them are migrant workers. They come from countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or parts of East Africa. They came to Dubai hoping to find well-paid construction jobs, and Dubai needs plenty of them because someone has to build this pompous city. They were promised good wages and safe working conditions, several times more than they could ever earn back home. But as soon as they arrive in Dubai, their contracts are suddenly changed and their wages cut. In many cases, their passports are taken away from them immediately. This system, known as the kafala system, ensures that many of them can no longer leave the country or change employers. Instead of the housing they were promised, they end up in overcrowded labor camps on the edge of the desert, where several men have to share a tiny room without air conditioning, with summer temperatures climbing well above 45 degrees. Their workdays often last 12 hours, 7 days a week, and it is not uncommon for wages to go unpaid for months at a time. So while tourists stay in luxury hotels and enjoy the city's glamour, the people who actually built Dubai live in a reality that could not be further from that luxury. But another phenomenon also shows just how absurd the system behind Dubai's world of luxury can be. If you take a look at certain parking garages or hidden parking lots around the airport, you come across a scene that feels almost surreal. Hundreds of abandoned luxury cars are sitting there. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, parked bumper to bumper and covered in a thick layer of dust. In some of them, the keys are still inside. The reason lies in the extremely harsh debt laws of the United Arab Emirates. For a long time, there was practically no insolvency law there at all. Anyone who could no longer keep up with loan payments, leasing installments, or a bounce check had to expect to land in prison immediately. That is why many foreign business people and expats saw only one way out. They packed their bags overnight and fled the country, often heading straight for Dubai Airport. Their luxury cars were simply left behind. Many of those vehicles are now waiting to be auctioned off or eventually end up in a scrapyard. What do you think? After the latest escalation, does Dubai's facade now seem to be finally crumbling for you? And could you look past the things that happen there every day and still imagine traveling there for a vacation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave us a like and subscribe.